Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're going to open up Silver Tempest and go over some of the best cards released this year. I have a list of about 30 cards that I think are worth adding to your collection. Not based on value, but the artwork. Pokemon did a great job with the illustration rares. And I just want to share my opinion and hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. Kicking things off at number 30, we have the Gold Miraidon card from Scarlet and Violet base set. One of the first singles I picked up this year. I think Miraidon might be one of my new favorite Pokemon designs. And next card up is Yveltal from Paradox Rift. I like having Pokemon cards of the Pokemon I use in my party from the main series games. Next up at number 28 is Great Tusk. I like this new design of Donphan. I think they did it justice. Next up is another Paradox Pokemon, Roaring Moon. I also like this new design of Salamence. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty popular now in the new meta, so we'll see if the price holds up because of that. Next up is Glacia and Leafeon V-Star from Crown Zenith. I think both look great. I love the background they're in, or the environment they're in. I think it fits them perfectly. Well-designed cards. Next up at number 24, it's Magikarp. I think it's the most expensive illustration rare, which is quite shocking, but I think everybody was drawn to it because of the similarities to Giratina alternate art. Next up is Mewtwo V-Star from Crown Zenith. It's a must-have if you have the Charizard UPC promo to go along with it. Next we have Pikachu Crossing the Street. I am still working on my master set for 151, so I'm hoping to still pull this card. Next up, number 21 is Palafin with the superhero pose after transformation, or is it evolution? But anyways, it's another new cool Pokemon that I like from the Scarlet and Violet era, so gotta have a card for it. Next up is Fuecoco. This was my starter, so I gotta have its whole evolution line in my collection. Next up is Gloom. I mean, I'm not even a fan of Gloom, but this card, Lo-Fi vibe, it should have been in 151. Next up at number 18 is Scizor, one of my longtime favorite Pokemon. It's either doing Kaioken or it's battling during sunset. Next up at 17 is my wife's favorite card, Cleffa. Surprisingly, Obsidian Flame has a few cards that are low-key, pretty nice looking. Next up at 16 is the special illustration rare Miraidon from the base set. I pulled this one, I think on my first pack from my booster bundle. So happy. I think this was my chase card from that set. Next up at 15 is Steelix, another longtime favorite of mine. I think Steelix just has one of the best designs for a Pokemon in the game. Next up at 14, Paldean Tauros, inspired by Lion King, one of the greatest Disney movies of all time, and one of the most core memory of our childhood depicted into a Pokemon card. I mean, that's just a must-have. Next up at 13 is Fletchinder. You might be surprised that it's up this high, but this Pokemon was with me from like Route 1, Route 2, so it was with me for the whole game, so there's a bond there. And this card actually has a lot of detail if you look into it. Like they sneak in the whole evolution line in there somehow and a few Pokeballs. Next up at 12, it's Meryl. Not a Pokemon I think of when I want to collect Pokemon cards, but this card is like gorgeous. The way the sun goes through the water, you can see the bottom layer of the water, and they did a great job designing this card. And then everything I just said about Meryl applies to this War Turtle card. It's gorgeous. It looks like something from the National Geographic magazine. Now we make it into my top 10 must-have cards of 2023. And we start off with the Ralts evolution line. I think this is such a unique way to tell a story through a Pokemon's evolution line that you just gotta have it in your collection. I think also the fact that I became a parent when base set, Scarlet and Violet base set came out, it just hits me a little different, and it's gonna be in my collection soon. Next up at number 9 is Raikou V. Probably my favorite of the 3 legendary beasts. One of the staples in my Miraidon deck, always fetching for it. Plenty of lightning rondos, so I gotta have the card in real life. Next up at number 7 is the Pikachu card from Crown Zenith. Such a beautiful card. It has all the important cards in the Sword and Shield era, and I came in during celebrations, and so it's always going to be one of my favorite cards. Next up at number 6 is another Crown Zenith card, Suicune V. Just a gorgeous looking card. This is my favorite card in the set, so we're getting to the top 5 next, and I think next are all just my chase cards from each set. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and comment down below what your top 5 cards are, and any card that I did not include, if you would include in this list. At number 5 is Iron Valiant EX. Such a beautiful card, the colors just pop. I need this card to drop in price so I can have it. And at number 4 is Zapdos EX from 151. This is really a legendary birds card for me. Even though everyone's working on a master set, including myself, this card I want more than the other cards. And that says a lot considering it's up there against Charizard and all the starters. And at number 3 is this inexpensive Ninetales card from Obsidian Flames. There are no Charizard cards on my list, but this card makes it. Number 1 and number 2, I've been flip-flopping back and forth. Can't decide which one is better than the other. Can't wait to have both. But at number 2 for now is going to be the Groudon from Paradox Rift. Next, at number 1 is going to be the Tyranitar. That Godzilla looking Tyranitar. 2 epic looking Pokemon cards. Artists did such a great job portraying them in that fashion. And with that, the top cards of 2023 comes to an end.